Hi, everyone. Don Giannatti, lighting-essentials.com and project52prosystem.com. I did a little video a couple weeks ago on some shots from my portfolio back in the 80s. And I got really nice notes saying, hey, do it again and show us some more and stuff like that. So, okay, I'm going to pull up 8 shots from roughly mid-80s work. I can do this with the 90s work too, I suppose. I'll pull it up later. All the 90s, then the 2000s, and no, I probably. But anyway, I think some of these old shots are kind of fun. So let's jump in on some of these shots of yesteryear. I like that term, yesteryear. Well, here's a shot that is one of my favorites, and from a long time ago, and means a lot to me. I think it's one of the time I was really working on my style and what I was doing. You can look in the eyes and you'll see that there are 2 highlights. And that's from 2 very small umbrellas, bounce umbrellas, right next to the camera. These guys are right next to the camera. And then the shiny board down below is a V card. It's actually made out of wood and had hinges on it and everything. But instead of it being flat, it would V up. Let me, I don't want to show that one yet. Let me pop up here and show you what I mean. The V flat on the ground. So we had our subject sitting here, and she is sitting on the ground, by the way, on her thigh, sitting sideways with her hands in front of her on the ground. And then the V card would do this. And then the 2 umbrellas would be basically like this with the camera in the middle. So it's pretty simple setup, but I used it a lot because I really, really liked the way the light looked here. Let me point out just a few little things, though. I need to make sure you understand. These photographs are not retouched in Photoshop. They were simply scanned in, and that's it. This sometimes amazes photographers when I show them. They go, oh, how did you do the skin tone? This is the level of makeup artistry that we worked with. These faces were perfect. This was shot on Polaroid black and white slide film, and it is unaltered in any way. It's not pushed, it's not run through Nik, it's not anything. This is the shot, and it's scanned from print, so it's probably a little bit more contrasty than it was in reality, but still it is a straight shot. All of these are as well. This one was shot on 4x5. It was shot and cropped from a 4x5 negative that I did in 10p, and it's natural light. And it's also printed on a matte paper, sepia toned, and then just a little bit of yellow dye added to the hair, just a little bit of mauve here for the eyes and the lips. That was done with a matchstick and a little bit of photo dye. The thing about photo dye is if you screwed up, you had to throw the print away because it was dye. You just had to do another one. So I did a lot of hand coloring. If you're interested, let me know, and I'll show you some hand colored shots. These were prints that were then hand done with dye, not Photoshop. I don't have anything against Photoshop. I'm just, in a way, I'm kind of proud of coming up through the ranks and not having Photoshop and having to do it all in camera. And all this is in camera. Headshot, again, in camera. There's no makeup redone in Photoshop. There's no retouching, nothing. This was the level of makeup artists that I got to work with. It was really fun. Single silver card, single medium umbrella, really close, brought in really, really tight, and then white cards all around to really bring this, keep the shadow from going too dark under the neck. We got a hair light above. Generally, my hair light was what I called a zebra umbrella. It was a 8-panel umbrella, but it had 4 silver panels and 4 white panels. So it was a little poppier than white, but a little softer than silver. I rarely use silver umbrellas. I might use them for hair, but even there, they're just very, very poppy. I rarely use them on people. I will use silver umbrellas on backgrounds. Backgrounds are pretty cool. Well, you can really do a lot with silver umbrella, but I don't use them on people. But this was shot on Ektachrome, the 180mm Nikkor, shot at f4 with Normans. This was shot with my movie lights, and I'm a little bit up on a stool, and we're using a movie light from the left and a movie light from the right, and some cards and pieces of piping and stuff to throw shadows on the young lady, and really trying to create something dramatic and fun. So I never let my models stop moving. I keep them moving in the space. I don't want them to stop. That's what the camera's for. The camera stops the action, okay? I find that if models move and stop, and then you make the shot, and then the model moves and stops, and you click again, pretty soon she moves, stops, you click. Who's in charge of the photograph? The model is. I said she. Their males do the same thing. The model's in charge of the photograph. No, I'm in charge of the photograph. You keep moving, just moving, you know, working the area, leaning forward, leaning back. I'll take care of stopping you at 125th of a second. See how egotistical I am? I'm just a bastard when it comes to that sort of thing. We did this shot. This was a test shot. And this is really interesting. This was a test shot that we did down on the streets of Tempe. Shot right after I got my Canon EOS. I was really needing to learn how to use that damn camera because I'd been, you know, manual focus for a couple of decades, and here I am shooting autofocus, and it was, you know, a lot to learn. And I would go out with models and we'd do tests, and this is Christy. We're on the streets of Tempe, again, Polapan, black and white film, and the light is all natural with a big white card on a stand near me just to open it up a little bit. By the time this light came, by the time that light came, I'm not really sure the white card was doing much. It was when the sun was shining rather than behind some upper clouds, but we did several shots. And a company that I showed my book to really liked it. I'll show you what happened in just a moment. But this is the 200 millimeter, the 80 to 200, not 70 to 200. This is the first version, 80 to 200 Canon zoom, 2.8 zoom, shot at 2.8 with the Polapan film. And the interesting thing about the Canon zooms were, up until that point, lots of zooms were crap. Most zooms were crap compared to primes. Canon introduced the L-line lenses, which was the 80 to 200, the 21 to 35, 20 to 35, 20, something, I think it's 21 to 35, and 51.8, that something in a very short little set of prime lenses, but they had these two zooms, one on the wide end, one on the top end, and they were both incredible lenses. So that was part of the joy of switching from Nikon to Canon at that time, even though it pained me very well because I loved my Nikon cameras. I still love my Nikon cameras. I still have most of them. This shot was for a boutique. We went up to Globe, Arizona, and shot on a bridge, a little little walkway bridge. The bridge is still there. The trees are still there, but they are way more overgrown. And the bridge is no longer, you're able to walk on it. So from the time I took this photograph of the young lady on the bridge to today, the bridge has crumbled beyond use. Okay. So anyway, natural light, large reflector on a stand near me, silver reflector, just feathering a little light into the front of her. This was shot on the 105 Nikon lens with the f3. This was probably one of the last f3 shots I did before I went to Canon. Also shot on Ektachrome. I shot Ektachrome 64 at 50. I shot Ektachrome 100 at 80. I always overexposed a little bit for skin tones. Well, I told you the client liked the shot, and they did like the shot. In fact, they actually liked her dress and her hair so well that they said, hey, can you get that same model in that same dress, have her do her hair that way, and we'll do this shot for Fiesta Mall. So I called up Christy and I said, here's the deal. We need the same dress, same hat, or I mean, same hair, and we're going to shoot this ad for Fiesta Mall. So we had a blast reconstructing what we had done about 4 months earlier. And the ad ended up being pretty nice. They had header over here. It ended up being cover of a Fiesta Mall magazine and several other things, but also shot on the Polaroid black and white slide film. The client said, well, can we do this in color? I said, well, sure, of course, because I always kept, I'd a dozen rolls of color, a dozen rolls of black and white, and a dozen rolls of Polapan with me all the time. So yeah, we can shoot it in color. So we shot 2 rolls in color, and we shot 2 rolls in the black and white Polapan. And of course, they didn't like the color at all because it's Tempe back here, and it's just a mess of color that and she's wearing a black and white dress. So it was just blah. But in black and white, it works out great. I love black and white. I love black and white for that reason. I think it really, really works well. So there we go. There's 8 shots. Was that 8 shots? Was there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? 7 shots. Do I have another shot over here that didn't get in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay. 7 shots from back in the day. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed looking at them as much as I enjoyed shooting them. A lot. All right. See ya next time on Throwback Thursday. No, I don't know if I'll be here next time on Throwback. Anyway, have a good day.